Good morning, everybody. Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. We're very excited to be here with you, and we have a word that is going to touch all of us. And that virtue that we're going to talk about today is prayerfulness. So let's read the description of it first, and then we'll talk about how this virtue that we all have inside of ourselves is how we can focus on it today, how I'll be focusing on it, and how we can help our kids with developing that virtue in their lives too. So the description goes like this: prayerfulness is a relationship with a power greater than ourselves, one that loves us and knows us intimately. We live in the presence of our Creator, mindful that every act, decision, and thought is meaningful. Prayer is quite a quiet reflection that cleanses the mirror of the soul. It is a sacred conversation that opens us to forgiveness, hope, and renewed intentions. We listen and receive spiritual guidance. We ask for help, heighten our awareness, and watch for it to come. Praying our gratitude keeps us in the flow of grace. So what a beautiful virtue, and one that we all do in our own way. So, there's some individuals have connections with religious organizations and religions and different philosophies and different cultures and cultural ways of doing things. But each one of them, as with all of the virtues, are found in almost every culture. In almost every culture, there's something that is used as a power of reaching out, let's say, to that power that's greater than ourselves. And so whether it's prayer or meditation or just a quiet sitting or reflection in nature or whatever it might be, we all have something that we can use that we're comfortable with that helps us to hear ourselves and to hear meanings and answers to questions that come from what seems to be something from outside of ourselves. And so we appreciate this opportunity to have these conversations, to have the time to reflect, to have the time to renew ourselves and really open ourselves up to spiritual guidance that's outside of ourselves. One of the things that really struck me as I was reading this is this sentence in the description that talks about living in the presence of our Creator and mindful that every act, decision, and thought is meaningful. And the reason that this really struck me is because of something that I've been recognizing more and more fully each day. And that is that our thoughts turn into and become and influence, let's say, our feelings and our emotions. And obviously, they also have an impact on our decisions and the way we act, right? And so I was just thinking as I read that, wouldn't it be wonderful if I spent more time in reflection, in prayer, in meditation, and created thoughts that were more in line with the greater beings, the more in line with my own inner being, with being who I am, and more in line with what is true love and joy and satisfaction and all those things that we are hoping for, because our thoughts do change who we are. And I've just been recognizing this more and more, that when I have a thought, it has a strong effect on how I'm feeling at that moment, and my feelings and my emotions and whether I'm in a good mood or a bad mood is influenced by what I'm thinking. And so even with some of my clients, I've been asking that question, what is it that, or how do we know when we're having positive thoughts or when we're having negative thoughts? And the answer is by how we're feeling. And so if we're feeling angry, if we're feeling upset, if we're feeling annoyed, if we're feeling joyful, whatever our feelings are, it's usually driven by a thought. And it's a signal that we're not being true to our true selves. It's a signal that our thoughts are negative. It's a signal that our thoughts are positive. Whatever it is, we can feel that. And so this is an area that's really been helpful to me to be able to change those thoughts. Not once they get going. I mean, once they get going, it's pretty hard to change them. So that's why I spend a little bit of time each morning and each evening for some quiet reflection and some time to really open myself up to examination as to, what am I thinking and how am I thinking and how is it impacting me? So that's the goal, right? The goal is to continually make those improvements and to have a better attitude and better feelings in life. And everything that we do, we know this, that everything that we do is with the hopefulness that it's going to make us feel better, that it's going to make us happy, it's going to make us more joyful, it's going to make us feel more at ease, whatever it might be, whatever it is that we do. And so if we practice prayerfulness, I am a believer anyway, that doing so will help us to find our true selves and allow us to be our best selves. So how do we help our kids with this is pretty simple. We introduce the practice of prayerfulness. We introduce it with quiet time. We introduce it with sacred times where we're sitting with our kids and helping them to see how they can use reflection time. And I'm not talking about timeouts, okay? I am talking about just taking some moments as a family, taking moments before going to bed, taking a moment before going off to school or before starting the day, where we really just have some quiet meditation, or we pray in a very sincere way, looking for guidance, spiritual guidance, and being aware of divine presence and being aware of everything around us and how it impacts us. I love this word, and it can be a little bit difficult, let's say, to talk about for some. It's a very personal thing. And I just encourage all families to practice some form of prayerfulness, because doing so, I believe, will help us to make sure that our thoughts are lending themselves toward being positive and pulling away from negative thinking, which is a big deal for us in this world that we live today. All right, everybody, those are my thoughts about the practice of prayerfulness, and I thank you for being here today. Let's go forth. Let's be reflective in our time that we have, whether it's early in the morning or in the evening. Make it a practice and continue to practice all of the virtues as well as the 4 C's of successful families, and that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. Until next time, bye.